All right, welcome back to the channel. My name is Buzz and we are here on my wife and I's property in southeastern Montana, and we are building a 60 by 48 clear story shop with a living space. See, a lot of this house is actually built into the hillside, so everything that's going to be subgrade, we're doing concrete stem walls with these insulated concrete forms. Now in the last video, we showed you how we went ahead and poured the footers. We have a finished edge here because this is going to be inside the house. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we mark out for the ICFs, how we set the ICFs, how we put the rebar in, and how we brace the whole system until we're ready for concrete. All right, so we're going to get started by grabbing a chalk line and snapping a couple reference lines so we can attach our ledger board to the footing. And here's a good shot of that ledger board. So this ledger board basically just gives us something solid to push our foam blocks up against and make sure we stay nice and straight and parallel with the footing.
Pull her up right up against the...
Now these ledger boards are just temporary, so we're just going to use this ram set to tack them in place. Now these particular ICFs, they do require a foam adhesive on the bottom course that basically glues it to the footing itself.
Okay.
Now I know this may look funny, but this is actually a manufacturer recommendation for how to tie a corner into the first block of each course, which is basically using a jab saw, cutting a couple holes, and then using these really big zip ties to hold them together. And pretty much when you have your corners established, you're off to the races. It's really just foaming blocks, tying them together, and then setting your ledger board as you go. So starting at each corner, you work your way to the middle of each wall, which leaves you with a little space here at the cut piece. It was actually pretty easy just to grab a Western style handsaw and make pretty short work of this. There is one half of that block is a dovetail joint that you have to shave off and glue the seam, but you'll see more of that here in a minute. And another manufacturer recommendation is to glue each corner as you build courses. The rebar we're using for strength on this wall is actually a 1/2 inch fiberglass bar. This is called Raven bar. It's something available here in Montana. It's really light, but it's also really, really strong. It was actually really fun putting all these blocks together. You know, it's like giant Legos. You know, they lock in with each other really nice. You know, you feel them sort of click when you get them fully seated where they're supposed to be, and you just kind of get in a groove and you just kind of keep rolling.
What? Wow. Right, look.
So for our particular design, we're actually only going 5 courses high along the back wall, and this is basically a stem wall that is built into the hillside. Okay, so now we move on to bracing, and basically we're stacking some functions here. So we're actually going to create the bracing to hold the wall nice and stiff, while also sort of creating this walking platform, as you can see Shane walking around up here right now. You need that platform because the pump truck is going to come in, and you need a way to guide the pump around as you fill these walls when you're ready to pour. So Shane is attaching that 2x6 to the plastic internal studs inside the light form blocks themselves. This gives us something solid to screw to and solid to anchor to as well. So with our bracing and scaffold set, we'll go ahead and start putting in our vertical rebar. Now manufacturer recommends 24 inches on center for this, with just a couple inches shy of the top of the wall. Now this is actually an ICF specific product. It's called in-wall bracing, and it's basically just keeping the tops of those forms nice and straight. You can also use this on the first course, and the manufacturer recommends it, except if you use a ledger board like we did, then you don't have to.
All right, well, that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for day one. As you can see, we got all the ICF set for the north wall, the south wall, the east wall. We did run a little short, so we haven't gotten to the frost wall yet, but that will be next time. I just gotta get a couple more blocks and get some more rebar. This in-wall bracing is basically it's holding the wall plumb, it's bracing the wall when we pour the concrete into it, and it's giving us a little scaffold to walk on when we have the pump truck in here and we have to have somebody up there pouring the concrete. So yeah, pretty good for the first day. I'll get the rest of the ICFs, the rest of the rebar in the next few days. We'll get the rest of this set probably next week. So yeah, we'll see you in a few days. All right, day 2 of setting ICFs. We got most of the big walls done. We're down in the trench setting the frost wall right now. And then I'm actually working on some bracing to anticipate to getting our sill on here for concrete. So.
All right, we got some good Montana wind that day, so bear with me here. But basically what I'm doing is shaving off the nibs of the top course of these blocks because I need a nice flat surface to put my treated bottom plate for my walls on. And while I was busy doing that, the boys got right to work down in the trench setting all the ICFs for the frost wall. Now we did have to build up this part of the land about 4 feet, so we're going to do a full 48-inch frost wall to discourage any frost from creeping up under that hillside. Now since we did a step down stem wall with these ICFs, we have these open exposed ends to contend with. So we have to fabricate some sort of cap to keep the concrete in there. So the solution we came up with was to use these pieces of scraps and have them stick over the end of the block a little bit. That gives us a good solid surface to attach these caps because there's going to be an immense amount of pressure once the concrete goes in here. And you can see those are 2 2x6s that I put a 30-degree bevel on when I ripped them. So as I put this piece of 1/2-inch plywood on here, treated plywood, it kind of creates like a dovetail joint, like almost like a keystone that's going to bite onto that concrete. And here is the end result. So you see the plenty of screws and plenty of bite, and then there's that little dovetail keyway I was talking about. Alright, that's going to do it for this week's video. Come back next week and I'll show you how I made these caps that are also going to double as our bottom plates for our framing. Thanks for watching.